All right, let's go ahead and get today's presentation started. First, welcome everyone to our live Google Hangout on the topic of industrial materials reuse in Tennessee. Um, just to review a few logistics here at the beginning, we are broadcasting to you live today. Some of us from Austin, Texas, some of us from Tennessee, and one of us from Detroit, Michigan. So please pardon any technical difficulties we might have as we go through, but we'll try to do this without any glitches. If you are logged in today using Google Plus, you should see the ability to send us questions via the question and answers app. So feel free to shoot us some questions at any time, and we'll have some time at the end of the presentation today to answer those questions. So this is us here in the office. I'm Daniel Keitzer. I'm with the U.S. Business Council for Sustainable Development. Here next to me is Ray He, also with the U.S. Business Council. He's our technical expert and our manager of our materials marketplace software. On video today, you'll see their faces at the bottom of the screen. We have Andy Mengen, our executive director at the U.S. Business Council. John Bradburn with General Motors. Von Cassidy is on the line as well. He is with the Office of Sustainable Practices in the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. We also have Pat Van Rickenham on the phone. He is with General Motors based in Tennessee. So that is our group talking to you today, and thank you very much for watching. So to kick things off, I'm going to pass it over to Andy Mangan. Andy's going to talk us through kind of the big picture of the issue at hand and some of the work that we're doing. Andy, go ahead.
Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. Just a quick summary about the Business Council. The United States Business Council for Sustainable Development is a group of about 60 organizations here in the U.S. that are committed to implementing, designing, and then implementing sustainability-oriented projects that are by businesses, for businesses and the communities where we all work and live. One of those is material reuse that we're here to talk about today. We've called it byproduct synergy over the years. Been working on that for since the mid-1990s and had hundreds of companies here in North America, Asia, and Europe work with us on it. The drivers are multiple. One of the key elements is as the global population grows and more consumers are purchasing more and more products, the projections show that our extractive industries are increasing in terms of raw materials being pulled out of the earth and converted into products. And the other side of that is with the increased buying power around the world at a global level, commodity prices have been going up for the last 10 years or so. That's something projected to continue given the population estimates of we're at 7 billion now, going up to 9 to 10 billion by mid-century. So those are just big picture statistical elements for the reasons to get as efficient with materials as we possibly can, but getting down closer to our day-to-day work, there's just something that we have to focus on is landfills are not going to be a viable option in the future. There'll be the materials that have been flowing into landfills have have inherent value, we have to find out how to get at that value and keep those materials being used ideally in a circular or spiraling way so that they continue to be used, reused, repurposed. That's the whole focus of our effort here today, and what we're working on in Tennessee. And one of the key concepts that we've worked on successfully since the mid-90s is that by getting companies in a region like the state of Tennessee or a region that could include other parts of nearby states, to understand one another's material flows in a way that is safe and not concerning about speaking outside of the company walls, but create a space where you can describe and share with one another the kind of materials you are using, what's flowing through, what's flowing out, byproducts, waste, and what kind of constituents are there, and volumes and frequency. Once companies learn about that from one another, they inevitably see different opportunities to work together to find reuse and repurpose and collaboration options, pooling resources to gain higher value, working together on transportation networks to create full value and low waste. Waste in that regard would be a half full truck or train car going back empty. So waste heat, all these different things are possible, but getting companies to consider and work on that in a way that doesn't take a lot of time, but allows for the window to be opened and view to be seen of where some of those opportunities are, and connect the dots. That's what this project is about. We've done it on other locations around the country, and Tennessee looks like it's really a prime spot to be working, and we look forward to doing that. I think Vaughn has some more details about that, but maybe I can turn it over to you, Vaughn.
Thanks, Andy. Well, it's the same issue everywhere. It's not any different in Tennessee. A lot of people go to work every day and they look at materials that they're throwing away and just wishing and somehow knowing that they're valuable. Very often they may be able to find a temporary fix for it. They may be able to find somebody that they know, some friend of theirs, or somebody knows somebody. And it's very difficult when you are working 60, 70 hours a day, I'm sorry, an hour in some cases, to have the energy and have the real passion to be able to get rid of this material when you really just want to make your product, sell it, and go home at night and spend time with your wife and kids. But we've only recently developed the technology to be able to logistically shop this material around. But the first thing we had to do in Tennessee really is to figure out who was interested and where the stuff was. The automotive industry is really becoming quite colossal in Tennessee. It's our marquee industry, and also if you don't know, I'll say that an automotive industry is probably the best environmental actor you can have around, the best environmental neighbor that you can have for various reasons. And so we wanted to focus on that industry in this webinar, and also with our TDEC mapping project that we have done in the past, just recently, through the University of Tennessee Center for Industrial Services. We managed to get 4 industrial clusters to be surveyed to see where material was in Tennessee, if it was being recycled or not recycled, or if it was even there, even available. We have that first phase of that now, and we are ready to look at who wants to be able to market and reuse this material. I think, yeah, there you go. You have the map right there. As you can see, we have several regions economically in Tennessee, and this particular map is, I think, almost exclusively automotive industry. And we're hoping to to get this project off the ground. And we hope that we have folks even right now spending their lunch hour with us that are very eager and interested.
Great, thanks, Fawn. Yeah, this map is so telling too. Just the pure volume of materials that are out there, and I think there's a huge opportunity.
Mm-hmm. This can also address the infrastructure in Tennessee. We do indeed lack, as in many states, lack the recycling infrastructure to be able to utilize a lot of the material that we have. And if we can show prospective people that may want to move into Tennessee to recycle that material, we can show them where it is and who has it.
Yeah, fantastic. So Andy, when in your introduction you talked a little bit about the business case for doing this sort of work, and I wanted to spend some time with Pat and John, and also explain some of the specific examples from all that really goes into detail on that business case. So Pat, if you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about these sorts of efforts from a General Motors perspective and GM in Tennessee, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Hey, everybody. So here in Spring Hill, we have a plant in Spring Hill, Tennessee, and we're very interested to just find ways to kind of move the process forward in terms of building infrastructure in our region. Initially, I think our focus is on waste minimization and finding recycling outlets for more than just sort of the commodity recyclables of paper and plastic and cardboard, but to start looking at some of our manufacturing byproducts, waste streams that we believe are, in some cases or in many cases, are common with other automotive plants and automotive suppliers in the region, as well as even other industries in the region. So we think there's a lot of synergy that could be gained as we can find ways to create an infrastructure through networking and through tools, perhaps like the software tool that we're looking at today, to allow us to sort of work together to solve these common problems. And I think, looking down the road, I think once you have that infrastructure built and in place, you can use it for all different kinds of things, right? You can use it for other sustainability goals and things, that may come along in the future. So I think that there's long-term benefits, but certainly in the short term, I think coming together and finding ways to create synergy in this region, I think is going to be a benefit to everybody.
So John, could you talk in a little more detail about some of the work that you're involved with on material reuse, zero waste, and landfill diversion?
Okay, hi everybody. This is John Bradburn, and I would like to say that if America, and therefore Tennessee, has a new frontier, this is it. This, in terms of finding improved, innovative, and creative uses for materials that can stay in the same shape and form they're in, or can be formed in other ways to benefit society, businesses, and the economics around those. I think that it fits very nicely into what GM is about and what our host communities are interested in doing relative to waste reduction, landfill-free, and sustainability. This is in line with our landfill-free program, of which GM now has 122 operations around the world who send no operational waste to the landfills. It's common and consistent throughout, and we espouse to continue that trend and over the long haul become a zero waste company. And that's going to be done through collaborations, through groups such as the U.S. Business Council, the state agencies such as Tennessee, and find good solutions to these issues again, ways to move materials into different sectors, cross-collaborate beyond the automotive industry, and I'll give some examples. I think examples are very key and important. We've done several special projects in our plants as they're part of our community outreach programs, they're part of our wildlife habitat programs. These are all sustainability goals that GM has. We've done things such as converting Chevrolet Volt into wildlife habitat. We were very, very fortunate to be part of a project during the Gulf oil spill, whereby we converted materials from the cleanup into vehicle components. This was done as a demonstration to our commitment to our communities in which we operate, but it was also done so that people and innovators know that these sort of things are possible, and that is keeping materials in their use phase and continually save those resources for future generations. We, as another example, take a significant amount of our steel baskets from international trade and convert those to raised bed gardens. And we're doing that within Detroit today to work with underserved communities relative to food supplies and that sort of thing. These are things, again, that our plant teams are doing, but we can only accomplish these things through a community collaboration. And we look very, very much into the future to do more of these sort of things.
Great, thanks, John. So as Andy mentioned at the beginning, we at the U.S. Business Council have material reuse projects in a few different areas around the country. One of those being here in our hometown of Austin, Texas. So we launched this project in August of last year, and since then we've gotten up to about 60 businesses and organizations in Austin involved, and we're starting to see some really interesting trades come through that, but also some really interesting economic development opportunities, which I think is a great thing to highlight. So we're seeing entrepreneurs, we're seeing businesses looking at some of the bigger waste streams being generated in the area and starting businesses from these waste streams, which is fantastic. We've got one example of an entrepreneur who's working with scrap granite to make these products. Granite scrap that was originally being landfilled. Just recently, we've been talking with another entrepreneur who's interested in bringing a mattress recycling program to the city of Austin to our waste mattresses that are currently being landfilled in the area. So I think that we're able to show through these projects, through having a diverse and active collaborative network, that the material flows that are going through our communities and our states are big enough and consistent enough to really drive great economic development. Andy, any thoughts on that you'd like to share on the economic development side?
Well, yeah, as cities around the country, just like companies, are focusing more on sustainability objectives, they have some of the same challenges we do. Where's this material going to flow? Is it going to wind up in the river or in a back lot somewhere, or just the landfill? And the successful repurposing of materials creates jobs, the kind of thing Daniel just described. I mean, the granite was like 10 to 15,000 tons a year going to the landfill, so that's a raw material that's perfect for an entrepreneur to come create a business out of it. There's a whole range of those kinds of things. They also flow from the kind of materials that are generated at automotive manufacturing facilities and or chemical plants, and there are chemical companies that can join forces where you have a flow of hydrochloric acid or some other material that can be become something more valuable if the volume is increased, or other companies may have uses for that. Spent caustic is another example where the paper manufacturers, that's one where have been using spent caustic from refineries that have some beneficial hydrocarbons in them in the process of that help with the cleaning out the paper pulp process as they are used. So that's unexpected connections. Sometimes, I mean, what we've learned over the years since we've been doing these things is you never can predict where the opportunities are coming from. It's really a matter of showing leadership. I mean, the folks who are involved in these projects are really leading the way, helping to demonstrate this is not only does this make sense, but we can actually do it. Now let's go do it. So that's what we are setting up here, or proposing to in Tennessee, a real roll up your sleeves, let's figure out these things together, and do it in a way that doesn't take a lot of your time, and does it efficiently, and creates new relationships among the companies involved, but also with the cities and new companies that may be attracted to cities. The Tennessee effort is similar to one we have underway up in Detroit, in Michigan, and also in Colorado. So there are other states, and in Texas, as Daniel said, we've worked in Illinois, multiple states, and we're for the first time also working with a group of companies to deploy the software we're going to talk about next that allows for easy uploading of the materials in a kind of a enclosed cloud-based system available only to the participating companies, them to not only get the data up, us to help analyze and identify opportunities, push those out, but also create the kind of momentum and analysis that can help push these things down the path to implementation. So at the national level, we're working with a couple national or global or industry organizations to help make that happen. And I know some of the companies on the call today are involved in that, but you could just see this is scaling up. And I think John was right on target where this is a huge opportunity. It's happening now. It is a money maker or a money saver, one of the others. I think John didn't mention it, but of course GM is well known for saving billions of dollars through this approach over the years, and many other companies I can say that we've worked with have had the same response. So there's a lot of interconnected opportunities here. Look forward to getting Tennessee engaged, and we'll be coming to talk with you all after this call and others. The goal is to get at least start our project with 20 companies or more and really get pushing ahead. But I'll stop, and I think the next step is really to lay out the software, which is the tool that help us interact and work together. I'm going to have to sign off too, so I'll be looking forward to some of the follow-ups now after this. So thanks for your patience in having me here and explain all this thing to you. Hope I didn't confuse you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Andy. And that's a perfect segue into Ray's portion of our presentation today, looking at the actual marketplace software that we've developed to work as a part of these projects to kind of help make the nuts and bolts go a little easier. But before I hand it over to Ray, and so we're about halfway through, I do want to remind everyone that if you're able and willing to go ahead and shoot us some questions, and we'll certainly try to answer all of those here at the end of the presentation. So let me just switch over here to the screen with our marketplace software on it. There we go. And I'm going to hand this over to Ray now to talk in a little more detail about the program.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel. And hi, everyone. This is Ray from the U.S. Business Council for Sustainable Development. I'm very glad to have this chance to talk to you a little bit about our materials marketplace software, as Andy and Daniel mentioned. So our marketplace software is a new online platform from the Business Council to enable our business-to-business materials reuse projects like the ones in Austin, to make the users, to enable the users to easily post materials available or desired, identify reuse opportunities, and exchange underutilized materials. So today I'm just going to give you a pretty quick walkthrough of the demonstration of the materials marketplace to highlight these three main features. So what you can see right now on the screen is our demo version of the marketplace software. I preloaded some hypothetical companies and their materials. So none of the information you see today is real company data. But I just want to mention that at the same time, we do have companies actively using the software from our Austin project. And there will soon be other networks across the country, like Andy mentioned, in Detroit and Colorado, using this software to carry out this materials reuse project. Okay, so the first thing for company participants joining our materials reuse project I want to do is to share your information on your materials available and materials desired. So to do that, you can click Add New. That will give you our template to collect material information from you. So resource names, description of the resource, and primary resource type are the minimum required information that we feel are enough to give other users a general understanding of what the material is. And of course, we do recommend our users to put in as much information as possible, such as the quantity of the material, unit, frequency, the location of the resource, as well as a nice picture of your resource. And likewise, you can post your wish list materials. Here we're looking at a template that is similar, but much simpler. We also do. We are also aware that the companies may have already have their material information documented in some other form, such as Excel format. So we do provide another way of quickly upload all your material information through an Excel template. And we also do provide a startup template for the users to walk through to make their onboarding process much easier and quicker. So we're trying to do everything to make sure the user experience is a good one and make the job you do are as easy as possible. So the second main feature of this platform is the identification of reuse opportunities. And for sure, always you can browse all the materials available under the active material list. You can quickly locate one material by our search, filter, or sort function built into this software. So when you see a material of interest to you, you can click on the material and see the detailed list of information provided by the owner of the material. And in case you don't know who the owner is, you can click on their logo and to know a little bit more about who they are. So, but here we also want to highlight that there is a feature of recommending materials to you by a project staff or technical experts. So in this case, it's me who are behind the scene looking at the material list and wish list materials posted by all the users. And I will do my best to match identify reuse opportunities and matches as many as possible based on the information provided by you, but also my knowledge and experience and my research. So after I identify a good opportunity, I will recommend a material to the potential takers. That's why you see there are some a yellow tag says recommended showing up on your screen. So if you go to the What's New tab of the software, you are able to see under recommended materials, you have 2 recommended materials, and if you click on a button, you can see the reason for this recommendation. So after you identified a good opportunity, you want to pursue that reuse transaction, we do provide this transaction feature in this platform. So you can quickly just click on the Start Transaction button on the top right corner of the screen, and that will send the owner of the material a quick email notification saying you're interested in his material. And after both sides agree to do a transaction, that will bring both sides to a synergy transaction negotiation page, which is a template of our knowledge and experience from the past that we understand typically that both the buyer and the owner have to go through a series of negotiation topics such as the pricing, quantity, quality, and also some of the technical considerations and the equipment need to be used to make the reuse feasible, and some of the regulatory environmental concerns associated with this transaction. And also, we do provide a way for the users to go offline if they prefer to. They can quickly contact the other party by a button on the top, and that will send the other party an email. So you can start from there and move this negotiation offline. So after both sides finish this negotiation page, everything is recorded and documented in our various reports, which you have access to and customizable to you at any time. So that's a very quick walkthrough of some of the main features of the software platform. It's very user-friendly and user-centric, and with tons of support from the project staff and us. So with that, I'm going to open to all the questions and comments you may have.
Great, thank you, Ray, for that nice overview of our software. Just switch us back to our video feed here. It looks like we may have lost John Bradburn due to a technical difficulty, but we'll try to get him back here if there's any questions for John. So that kind of brings us to the where we go from here part of this presentation. So as Andy mentioned, really crucial to the success of this effort is really kind of gathering this critical mass of interested companies wanting to push forward with this effort. And then getting on the ground in Tennessee and starting to get the word out. So I know a number of you all may have come our direction from various organizations that Von Cassidy has connected us with, including the Suppliers Partnership and a few others out there. We've also been working with Resource Recycling Systems, RRS, in Tennessee. They have a CART program, Coalition for Advancing Recycling in Tennessee.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of, especially when we talk about building their infrastructure to help support these things, there's a lot of folks doing really great work already in this area in Tennessee, and we certainly want to pull those folks together and work together on driving this forward.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, one of our next steps that we wanted to ask of our viewers today, if there's interest in your business, in your company, and in getting involved in a materials project in Tennessee, you can be anywhere in Tennessee. As Andy mentioned, you can be close to Tennessee too. So we're certainly trying to be as open as possible to companies operating in this general area. Go to our website, usbcsd.org/TN-project. And on this webpage, I'll pull that up for you all here too. We've just posted a very simple contact form where you can shoot us your name, your organization, your contact information. If you want to give us a little run-through of what sorts of materials you're producing, and conversely, what sorts of materials you think you might be able to make use of in your manufacturing process, or in a whole nother product line, if that's applicable to you, go ahead and shoot us that information. And what we can do then is kind of put you on our contact list, put you on our call list of who to reach out to following this presentation, and we'll start kind of getting the ball rolling on this. And of course we'll continue working with our partners and our colleagues in the area, especially Vaughn at the state of Tennessee and some other folks. And we'll continue pushing down the path to get this started. Vaughn, anything else you'd like to add here as we wrap up the presentation?
Well, I just want to say that there are other material exchanges. There are other online material exchanges. Those they weren't exactly deficient. If you're happy with those, if you think those work for you, or if you have other ways to get rid of your material to reuse and remarket and repurpose things that you have that are waste products from your operation, then that's great. But what the technology is letting us do now, what the logistics is letting us do now, is really akin to I'll say the eHarmony of waste out there, because I don't know if any of you out there have ever been subjected to going through a dating service, but nowadays it's much more interactive. It's much easier to find the person that you want to be with. All right, it takes passion, it takes it takes drive, it takes initiative, but it's also much easier than it used to be. Same thing with this. This software allows us to be much more interactive. It allows us to filter the information much more quickly and much more efficiently, and it's just the next step in being able to do what we all want to do, which is reuse our materials. And there's an intrinsic value that we're beginning to see as a culture in a lot of things that we used to throw away. And I would say that anyone that has this passion or drive, because you know what, it's fun. It's just fun to reuse material. It's fun to find something that was being thrown away and find a great use for it and put it back in the economy. We have over 30 industries in Tennessee that employ about 8,000 people. That I mean, and that's a small number, I realize, but according to for the whole industrial spectrum. But again, there are 30 companies in Tennessee that subsist entirely off of material that is recycled. So there is groundswell out there. We do indeed have a lot of folks that are interested, a lot of folks that are involved, but we need you. And with that, I'll turn it back over to Daniel.
Yeah, thank you, Vaughn. That was a fantastic call to action. I think is definitely the right word for that. Well, wonderful. Thanks so much to all of our viewers watching in live today. This presentation is also going to be archived forever, hopefully with some minor editing first, and we'll be posting that link on the Business Council website, and we'll be sure to send that around to folks who weren't able to join us live. Will be able to watch this presentation in the future. If you need to get in touch with us at the Business Council, again, go to our website, usbcsd.org, and drop us a line using the contacts form, or give us a call at our office line. Thanks so much for joining us today, and we will definitely be in touch in the future. And thank you to our wonderful presenters as well, Vaughn Cassidy at the state of Tennessee, John Bradburn and Pat Van Rickenham at General Motors, and Andy Mangan are also at the US BCSD. Thanks so much, and signing off.
Thank you.